I'm Tom Whitnick, and welcome to the KZGN News. The Measure L Committee met Monday evening at City Hall. In the last couple weeks, a couple of the members of the committee met with Rachel McQuiston, the City Finance Director, to get a financial briefing about the city budget and Measure L revenue and expenditures. At the meeting, these committee members briefed the full committee. Right now, the committee is under the requirement to have an annual report out to the people in March. The members worked on the report and should have it out soon. When they do put it out, they will present it to the full City Council during the regular council meeting. In state news, the dock workers and the dock owners came to a contract agreement for a new contract. As of Saturday, all docks were getting up to full operation, all but the Portland docks. Seems there was still some remaining issue unresolved there, and the workers were sent home by the dock owners Saturday morning. It was reported that the issue was finally resolved and the workers were once again starting up. It's good to see this dispute resolved and move on. These docks being slowed or stopped really hurt the economy. In local PAC news, the Ridgecrest Police Department volunteer group, Police and Citizens Together, had their annual carnival in town over last weekend. The weather for it was great until Sunday. A lot of people came out and had a lot of fun. This carnival is a major source of revenue for PACT. They receive no funding from the city. They operate totally on fundraising. PACT does the graffiti removal, handles traffic for parades, does night surveillance, code and parking enforcement, supports the officers daily with patrol, serving subpoenas, traffic accident control, and just whatever else the police department needs for help. If you'd like to help fund PACT, they are a 501c3 organization and would appreciate any donations that people can help with. Just the supplies for graffiti removal alone is $400 for a 5-gallon tub of environmentally safe chemicals. Last year, PACT provided over 11,000 hours of volunteer manpower to the police department. So if anyone can help, please contact the PACT coordinator, Andy, at the police department at 760-499-5100. Or if anyone is interested in joining PACT, contact Andy as well. Again, Andy can be reached at 760-499-5100. In Washington news, repeating a story from yesterday to help get the word out, our Congressman Kevin McCarthy has announced summer 2015 internship applications are now being accepted. The deadline to submit the application is Friday, March 20th. The application must be postmarked by that date or submitted by email by that date. The applicant must possess good writing skills and computer skills, be enrolled in college or recently graduated, and should have a minimum 3.0 grade point average. Preference will be given to residents of the 23rd Congressional District, but all applications will be considered. Summer interns are responsible for their own expenses, including transportation and lodging expenses, and are eligible to receive a $1,500 stipend before taxed if they intern both the district and DC offices. The summer internship program will be an 8-week session. Interns will spend 2 weeks in the Bakersfield district office and 6 weeks in the Washington, D.C. office. Students are also required to submit a resume and with 250 words detailing their interest in the summer internship program and what they can expect to learn from the experience. Applicants are advised to submit their application as early as possible, as decisions will be made on a rolling basis. The applicant must mail their application to Congressman McCarthy at Congressman McCarthy, 4100 Empire Drive, Suite 150, Bakersfield, California, 93309. This is a great opportunity for any college student in the Indian Wells Valley. And now on to the 24th edition of today's KZGN News Talking Points editorial for Tuesday, February 24th, 2015. Today's topic will be, should the county hold their public hearing for the County Environmental Impact Report here in Ridgecrest? With the county recommendations included in the Environmental Impact Report to possibly change zoning of over 130,000 acres of land in the valley, it would seem a suggestion provided at last Wednesday's council meeting would be appropriate. Robert Ironman suggested that since only the Indian Wells Valley issue, that the supervisor should hold the decision meeting scheduled in late April to be held here in Ridgecrest instead of Bakersfield. The Kern County Planning Commission will be holding a meeting here in early April. That is great. Now the supervisors should do the same. It would be a great outreach by the county supervisors instead of making tens of, even hundreds of people travel from the valley to travel to Bakersfield. It would be much easier and fairer for the 5 supervisors and support staff to come here instead. I spoke to our supervisor, Mick Gleason, and he assured me that the idea is being pursued on his part. We appreciate his effort and will support him any way we can in bringing the meeting here. Having the Planning Commission hold their hearing here is good, but does not replace the supervisors doing the same. Now we move on to comments we have received on the new KZGN-TV News Facebook discussion group concerning last Thursday's editorial about the city paying for petroglyph art in the median of China Lake Boulevard. I suggested that the expense estimated to be $90,000 be split 75-25 between the hotels and other businesses which directly benefit the most from this increased tourism, and the city at 25%. Eric wrote, "If you must, just put plain rocks in the median. Make it look natural. Save the money and put it towards fixing the roads like Gateway and Bowman." Susie wrote, "The city needs the money for fixing more roads, that's for sure." Skip wrote, "Tom, I don't think Caltrans would allow large rocks in the medians. They would be dangerous to cars. They should be like the art examples placed on Drummond Avenue. These are shear-away mounts that will break off if hit by a car." And finally, I got a long email from Mr. Spurgeon, the general manager from Spring Hill Suites and the advocate for the art. He said, "Almost all the hotels in Ridgecrest are owned by small companies or individuals. They are small businesses in every aspect of small business. Just because a few of the hotels carry multinational franchise flags like Marriott and Hilton, it does not mean these properties are owned by these companies. It means a small business owner is at the end of that line. Many of us in the hotel community have given a lot back, as does many of the business owners in this community. So suggesting these big national companies pay the cost of this opportunity when the citizens of Ridgecrest and the broad array of other businesses would gain is a bit unfair." Well, to Skip and Susie and Eric, I agree with you on your comments. To Mr. Spurgeon, I want to say thank you for your lengthy email. I am not able to present the whole letter here due to time constraints. My only challenge to your claim of the Marriott and Hilton being a small business. I understand that you probably technically fit the description of a small business, but compared to my small business, I couldn't even afford turning on the power to your huge buildings, let alone carry your expenses even for one day. In another section of your email, you assert that the TOT tax affects what you can charge for your daily room rate in the tone that is a detriment to your business. My challenge back to that is, it's the same for all your competitors too. Just as gas stations charge the same state and federal taxes, they all charge the same. So if I buy a gallon of gas, then the amount of the tax does not stop me from buying the gas. Just as if all the hotels charge the same amount of TOT tax, it doesn't stop someone that needs a room from renting their room. Another comparison, all the utilities charge state and federal taxes in our bills every month. We decide to buy that utility. We have to pay the tax. Also, my knowledge of franchise operations is that some of your franchise fees you pay to the corporation is supposed to be available for you to get back for the community promotion. Perhaps that is available. Again, thanks for the email. In the interest of fairness, so that no one can claim I'm getting the last word in because I have the editorial segment, I will invite you to join me in a Ridgecrest Talk segment to discuss this further if you'd like. Mrs. Spurgeon, we set up a half-hour program for you to join us on Ridgecrest Talk so you can provide your thoughts and position on this. Let me know if you'd like to join me for a segment. I look forward to hearing from you. In conclusion, we call for the supervisors to hold their decision meeting scheduled for late April to be held here in Ridgecrest. The City Council chambers would be an excellent location for the meeting to be held. We appreciate Mick Gleason's effort to bring the meeting here and will support him any way we can. Having the Planning Commission hold their meeting here is good, but does not replace the supervisors doing the same. And that's today's editorial. Tell me what you think. Whether you agree with me or not, I'd like to read your comments. I encourage your email comments. please email them to info@kzgn.net or join the KZGN News Discussion Group on Facebook. This has been a KZGN Talking Points editorial. Join me Thursday for my next editorial. Thanks for watching. I'm Tom Whitnick, and that's what I think. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll have your local weather, sports, and birthdays. Welcome back. Now for today's weather.
Thanks, Tom. Taking a look at our national map, which was taken earlier today, a cold front from the north has settled into the nation, and as you can see from the map, the northeast coast is below 20 degrees. Midwest is in the 30s, and for us on the west coast, we are seeing 50 and 60 degrees today. For our 4-day outlook, tonight, mostly clear with a low around 40, south-southwest wind at 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 70, south wind around 5 miles per hour, becoming calm. Wednesday night, mostly clear with a low around 42, east wind around 5 miles per hour, becoming northwest in the evening. Thursday, sunny with a high near 70, west-northwest wind around 5 miles per hour, becoming calm in the morning. Thursday night, partly cloudy with a low around 44. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 67, west-northwest wind, 5 miles per hour. And Friday night, we have, again, a 20% chance of showers. Mostly cloudy with a low around 44. Breezy with a west wind, 20 to 25 miles per hour with a gust as high as 30. And that is your 4-day forecast. Have a pleasant evening. And now back to Tom Whitnick.
Thanks, Keith. Now for the sports with our sports guru, Tom Heck.
And a very pleasant Tuesday afternoon to everybody. Well, the Lakers back on track somewhat. They were able to break their 7-game losing streak. They beat Boston the other night at Staples. They won that game in overtime. Now, interesting enough, the last time the Lakers won a game, it was in overtime against Chicago. So even though the Lakers have one of the worst records in the NBA, they do very well in overtime periods. All right, the Clippers on track for probably the number 4 spot in the West. It's going to be a very interesting Pacific Division ending this year. Golden State, very good. Portland, very good. There's really not any bad teams besides the Lakers. Sacramento struggling in that Pacific Division. In the NBA East, pretty much the two teams that used to be the traditional powerhouses, Indiana and Boston, they're fighting for the number 7 and 8 spots in the East. The Atlanta Hawks, one of the best teams in basketball, have the best record in the East. Washington also playing some good basketball. And the Milwaukee Bucks right now on track to get a playoff spot in the NBA. Other scores, it was Memphis over Portland. Dallas beat Charlotte. Dallas playing pretty good basketball right now. Oklahoma City back on track. They have Russell Westbrook healthy. They beat Denver 119-94. It was Orlando winning. They beat the 76ers 103-98. The Sixers playing a little bit better. Now remember, they lost the first 17 games of the season this year to set a club record. Golden State loses to Indiana. Well, maybe Indiana now will start to play some better basketball the second half of the season. All right, let's switch over to UCLA. It's the NCAA playoff fever coming up. Will the Bruins be in it? Well, they're going to have to win out this week. They'll play Washington and Washington State at Pauley Pavilion. Then they'll have one game left against USC. Then they'll go to Las Vegas to play that Pac-12 tournament. Now, right now, it appears, though, they're going to have to win that Pac-12 tournament to get in the NCAA tournament. We'll have to see. There is some other scenarios that can happen. Other people win, other people lose, but right now they're probably on the outside looking in. Now, they played very well Saturday night. They gave Arizona some fits. They actually got off to a good start in the first half, good start in the second half. But between those times, they struggled offensively on the boards. Not a lot of putbacks in that game, and that's what ultimately cost them the chance for victory. Arizona, a good team. They're number 7 in the nation. USC lost to Arizona and Arizona State. They lost to Arizona State on Sunday by 4 points. Washington defeated Washington State. They broke their 7-game losing streak. They beat the Cougars up in Pullman on a last-second shot. And to break their longest losing streak in probably Lorenzo Romar's tenure. It's been a long time since the Huskies have lost 7 in a row. They are in next to last place in the Pac-12 division. All right, Kentucky, they're going to be going for history on Wednesday night. They beat Auburn this past week in 110-75. They've now 27-0. The longest streak in the history of Kentucky basketball. That includes Adolph Rupp in the days. Boy, that is a long time. That has been a great tradition. That's how good this team is. Could they run the whole gauntlet and go 40-0? I give them a 75-25 chance they will. That's how good John Calipari's team. They opened up on a 30-4 run to start the game. That's how good they are. Gonzaga also won. They beat St. Mary's. They came from behind to do that. Duke a winner, Wisconsin, Villanova, Kansas, and Northern Iowa, along with Notre Dame. Those are some of the top 15 teams in the nation. They all win. Oklahoma wins. They're number 16 right now. North Carolina, who is sitting at number 15 right now, beat Georgia Tech 89-60. So it's going to be very interesting now to see when the pairings come out, and the fun comes in about a week and a half when they start those league tournaments. And a lot of those league tournaments become very interesting. Some of the leagues have automatic bids into the NCAA tournament. In the big conferences like the Pac-12, the SEC, the ACC, well, they'll get multiple teams in the tournament, 5 or 6 in many of those conferences. So if you're a basketball junkie, stay tuned. It gets very interesting. Hockey fans, if you're out there and you like the ice, well, the Kings right now are in 3rd place. They're probably going to get a playoff, and if the Kings get in the playoffs, we know what can happen. The Mighty Ducks right now, the best team in the West, they look like they have the 1 seed. 3 more months left before we start the playoffs, so we'll see what happens on the ice. But both LA teams, or I should say LA and Orange County, doing well. And did you hear that the Chargers and the Raiders have gotten together to buy some land in the LA area? They are thinking of moving their franchises down south. Will the NFL allow that to happen? Both teams in one city, like the old days? Well, we'll have to see. Saracoso baseball today against San Bernardino. They'll be home Thursday against Barstow, then home again Saturday against College of the Desert. That's your sports for this Tuesday. I am Tom Heck for KZGN.
Thanks, Tom. Today in birthdays, Steve Jobs was an American entrepreneur, marketeer, and inventor who was the co-founder, chairman, and CEO of Apple Incorporated. Through Apple, he was widely recognized as a charismatic and design-driven pioneer of the personal computer revolution and for his influential career in the computer and consumer electronics fields. Edward James Olmos is an American actor and director. Among his most memorable roles are William Adam in the reimagined Battlestar Galactica series, Lieutenant Martin Castillo in Miami Vice, teacher Jamie Escalante in Stand and Deliver, Detective Gaff in The Blade Runner. Almost was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor in Leading Role for Stand and Deliver. Barry Bostwick is a Tony Award-winning stage and screen actor, best known for his roles as Brad Majors in the 1975 cult classic The Rocky Horror Picture Show. He is also known as Mr. Tyler in the sitcom What I Like About You. Also, Mayor Randall Winston is in the sitcom Spin City. Bostwick also had a considerable success in musical theater. So that's the news for today. All of us at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for news. We all thank you for joining KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only community TV station. We leave you with a video of a baby elephant that falls over. Watch what happens next. Thank you.